Okay, sorry for that. Please, you guys are going to do me a favor. And the favor you're going to do for me is that you're going to try to be active. Please be active. When I ask questions, respond. Because a lot of what I'm going to be saying, if you're not following me, they might fly over your head without you even knowing. So try and be active in this class. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get, say, SEO content topics, how to discover SEO content topics. Before we come to blog content review checklist, let's talk about how can you find content topics that you can write on and rank, right? There are two methods generally to do this. We have the method where you use free tools. We have the method where you use paid tools. I went in deep in more detail in another video that I've shared a part one. I would also share the part two with you people to go through. But in this class, you would also have an idea of what it all entails. Now, let's start. I usually start this session when I'm trying to do this. I start with a plain this thing. Remember your first Google search. Most of you might not remember, but just imagine your first Google search. The first time you ever got accustomed to Google, probably you asked the question is a question like, why do boys have deep have deep voices? So for instance, right now, in those days, you will not see this AI coming to give you an overview. So we're just going to imagine, we're just going to look away from that. Now, this is the first result you're going to see, and it's coming from Breaking Voices BBC. And it's giving you a short and straight snippet from the original content on this page that say boys' faces change quite considerably during puberty because the bones in them are sensitive to testosterone. As the facial bones grow, they create bigger spaces within the face, larger cavities in the sinuses, nose, and back to the throat give the voice more room to resonate in, and this deepens it further. Right now, this is a quick, if you now want to read more, you can click on this to read more. Similar to the next this thing, right? The next results, search engine reports results, you see here, just I told us what this thing means. This is meta description for people who were in class yesterday. This is meta description. So imagine where I'm driving to is imagine this search. First, there has to be a search. There has to be somebody who has a query, who has a question. Then there has to be either your site or that of your client where there are possible answers to these questions that the person is asking. So first, you have to know what are the questions people are asking. By knowing the questions people are asking, you can now think of the ones that you can write on that can bring traffic to your site or that of your clients. What are the questions people are asking? You have asked one question, like I've put up one question. Okay, Deborah, I'll come to your question. Just keep your hand up. I'll come back to you.
It's not a question. I think some persons are saying they're in the waiting room.
There's no waiting room again for today. Everybody gets added automatically.
Okay.
There's no waiting room. Let them check. There's no waiting room for today. Everybody gets added automatically because I knew I would also not have the time to be checking for them, since what I'm going to cover is a lot.
All right. Okay.
Let them try joining again.
All right. I'll let them know in the group chat.
Okay. So that's the foundation. That's where it starts. There has to be the question, and then there has to be your content. So these questions can become the content topics, the queries. These are also called queries. Queries, what the people ask the search engine. So what are the queries that you can write on? How can you find queries that you can write on and rank for? One of the ways is to use the search engines themselves. For instance, Google now is a search engine. We're on Google search engine, and we've put up a question. After that question we asked, which can be called the seed question, we now have other related questions like this. Why do males have deeper voices? At what age is a male's voice deep? These are also other areas related to that original question that people are also interested in learning one or two things about, that you can also write on. You get, but these are just in the foundation level. We'll get to how to decide if they are worth writing or pursuing or not. You can also scroll down and you will see other questions people ask, and then people also search for, which is this session. So these are two ways. These are people also search for session, and people also ask, right? These are two ways the search engines themselves give you an idea of content topics to write on. Now, you can, for instance, a content like this, you can open this and see, have people actually written contents that have satisfied this particular search query? Why do boys have deep voice when they, so this could be when they are in the morning. So you can see other recommendations. Why do guys have deep voices in the morning? So what is the cause of that? So people are asking, people want to know. Now, with that approach, or with this simple approach, you can find a lot of contents to work on. But the only challenge with this approach, which I can tag approach one, is that you might not be able to know things like the search difficulty. How difficult is it to rank for the keyword difficulty? Sorry, how difficult is it to rank for that content? You would not be able to know things like the search volume, how how many people search or make this or are interested in this topic per month or per week, as the case may be. Now, this free method, this first method, you will not be able to know because there is no yardstick you get. So you just do free and no. And just the other method, you can find keywords or topics that people are asking for, is to use the website called Answer the Public, which I think we've talked about sometime. So you can just go to Answer the Public. So, but for Answer the Public, what you need to do is just the area, you need to have a particular area per se now. So your area could be baby food. So baby food, so you just put baby food, put the country you get. So for instance, the good thing is if you're working with clients from different country, you have the opportunity to pick the country. So maybe you're writing for a client who has a website that talks about babies, you get, so you can find out what are people in Canada searching with respect to baby food. So you just put that, and then you click on search and see what that result shows for you. You get tons of content recommendations, questions people are asking, and then you can now decide which one to use. The downside also is that you might not be able to have access to some metrics like the difficulty level, but you might be able to see the search volume for some, while you will not be able to see for some others. So search volume is usually ratioed in like per month, So this is like, for instance, baby food maker is like, is this 19K per month? So this particular search, this particular key phrase, baby food maker, gets like 19K an average, is an estimated number anyway, 19K per month in Canada. You can also niche down particular content to different, and like you can niche it down so that you can have better competitive advantage. For instance, a content might be baby food maker, like that option we saw. You can tweak your own content title to baby food maker in Toronto, since we're talking about Canada now, or baby food maker in what are those states now or regions? In Alberta, you get in Denver. Denver should be in the US now. So you can also niche down that your search to different things. So this is another way to get SEO content topics. So for instance, if you have a client and say, oh, I need content for my website, you get the website is about agriculture or it's about this. So the person might not tell you, oh, write on this topic. You might just say, my person might just contract you to write. So you now do your search, you find content topics like this and then work on. So there are other options to use like Google Trends, Google Search Console. You can also have a Google Keyword Planner. You get all of these can also give you content topic recommendations like this, but they all have their downside. And the downside is that you do not have access to some metrics like how difficult is the keyword, or what is the search volume. Now, I think prior to class 1, I sent a guide, a video guide that explains some of the terms, SEO terms that you should take note of. If you did not go through that, some of the things I'll be saying now will be flying over your head, like when I now start talking about keyword difficulty, because all of that were explained in that training, in that replay that I sent. So if you didn't go through it, you might also do yourself good to go back to them so that you don't miss out totally. So I'm not going to delve too much on the free tools. We're now going to talk about the paid tools. So for the free method, like I said, number one, just a recap now, the free method, you can do free searches like this. You see a lot of content ideas from people also search. You get other ways you can get content topics for free is you can go to Quora. I didn't add that one too. You can go to Quora, check the questions people are asking in Quora with respect to maybe your particular area of interest. You see questions people are asking, and then it will help you also, it will guide you to understand what people are asking with respect to that particular area, and then decide if you can create content on it or not. Before I go further, please, what's the response from the people who said they're having issues joining?
I think one said, I don't know if it's a lady or a guy, said that she didn't get the link, that it wasn't sent to her mail. So I had to copy out my own and send, but I've not got any response from her yet.
Okay. So up to this point, I hope everybody is following me, because I want to go a bit more technical now. Is everybody on board up to this point?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I am.
All right, great. So now let's take it a bit more technical. remember what we're still doing is trying to understand how do people write, for instance, who is the richest man in Nigeria? You know, people always do this search. At least as Nigerians, you must have made this search once in your lifetime. Who has not made this search before on Google? If you've not made this search before, let me see your hand. We definitely, I think almost all Nigerians, we have made this search at least once, right? Or the other very common one aside this one is, who can guess the second most popular, second popular question people also ask in Nigeria? So this is another popular one people ask. So you can either tweak it male and female, you get, and then people now start arguing. Some websites will put Whiskey as number one, some website will put Davido as number one, and then the argument continues. While some others will put Don Jazzy as number one, and then give you the reasons why, rate them, and tell you why they belong where they belong in their list and all that. So, but what I'm driving at is, how do you find content topics like this that you can write on and it is your own site or it is your own content that ranks? So we are going to go a bit more technical. I'm going to use one SEO tool, one page tool to explain how the other tools operate, because they are pretty much the same approach. They pretty much work the same way. So the tool we're going to be using is Moz. The good thing is that Moz also has a free extension that helps you when you make searches, you can see the domain. So I don't know if people noticed today that anytime I do a search on Google, you see stuff like this: domain authority, page authority, right? Before, you could see the number of links that this particular site has, but Moz has made that premium, so they have also locked that. If not before, Moz will give you a lot of information, just a quick survey about that particular website you're seeing. So for instance, this particular key phrase now that I imputed, I could have a mental picture of how difficult it is to rank for this. What I'm just going to do is I'll look at the average domain authority of the contents that are ranking on the first page for that search, and then the page authority, the average page authority. It also gives me an idea. Before, when you could see the link, you can also have an idea of, okay, if the average number of links each page ranking on the first page for this search phrase has is 15, it also gives you an idea that if you write your own content, you should be able to build trust with some other website that can also give you backlinks. Let's say you need at least 5 to 10 plus a good domain authority to compete for that word or for that key phrase. And if you can't, it's best for you to just remove your hand, because if you write, your content might not see the light of the day. I've said 3 things now that you might take note of. Number one, I have talked about domain authority. I've talked about page authority. I've talked about link building. Now, link building is not the type where you go and pay some people on Fiverr to say, oh, add backlinks to my content. No, link building is kind of, maybe you write a content and you know people who are linking to similar content that you've written on. You could send them a code mail. Oh, we noticed you made reference to this content. You get, here is another updated content. Check if it meets the expectations and if you find it relevant to recommend to your audience and stuff like that. Or in other ways, you could also have friends who have sites, and you can talk to them. Oh, we have nice content on our site. Please, whenever you're writing your content and you're looking for resource places to cite, for instance, education or career-related content. I'm just using that for example. You can come to our site. If your site is about business, you can say, oh, whenever you're looking for business-related content, you can always come to our site and make recommendations. So that's also how you build links to your site. So those three things play a key role. And so when you're also doing search, for instance, using the paid tool we're going to be using today is Moz. Like I said, it also has a free plugin, which is the one I'm using here. And I can quickly tell, even without going to the app itself, I can use this method with just this Moz. And that's because I already understand it. I can find keywords and come up with it without going too far off, right? So, but that's by the way. So today, let's look at um, some of the things you can do with this keyword too. So first is you can check domain authority. You can check the domain authority of people in your field, in your industry, right? You can check for content gap. Yesterday we talked about content gap. You can check for content gap. You can get those recommendations. Another site that can also do that for you is Uber Suggest. So you might want to take notes of some of these sites I'm calling. So Uber Suggest also would give you, but you need the paid version also for Uber Suggest. And what's this? I know there should be a place to close this. So I don't know. I'll just leave that there. So you can do that. Um, you can check for, you can check for, you can check for overlap. What contents do you have that these other contents have? Or what contents are in two of your competitors' website that you don't have. You get tools like this can help you find out. So you find out that with that, you just see, oh, if your competitors are writing about this particular topic, it means in a way your site also has to have it. So for instance, if they now have a content on just giving, for instance, 25 ways mothers um, can feed their baby without losing weight. I'm just using, for instance, please don't crucify me. I'm not saying no disrespect to any gender. I'm just using for instance. So you now can now decide. Remember, there's an instance we used about baby. So you can now say, okay, if two of your competitors have 25 ways mothers can feed their babies without losing weight, you can now say, okay, 10 trusted ways. You understand? So you have changed your own 10 trusted ways new mothers can feed their babies, you get, and get them looking healthy. You get stuff like that. So the content is also similar. So these are ways you get content topics. So you can explore links. You can explore, for instance, if you write about business, you can say, okay, what are the top business websites in Nigeria? You can say top business websites in Nigeria. So just giving, for instance, and you do this, let's see what, so I'm going to take, so we have entrepreneur business blog. So I'm just going to take this, for instance. Okay, I will need their URL, so I have to open this. So I think this entrepreneur business blog, the owner is one Emenike Emmanuel. So I can just copy this, right? So I want to analyze this site. I want to see, so you can see I've pasted, so this is the root domain. I want to analyze this site. So I will analyze things like their top linking domains, their domain authority, how many, what websites are giving them their highest traffic, what pages are giving them their highest traffic, You can see all of that using the paid tools. You can analyze all of those things. Now, other people who do not have SEO knowledge do not know don't know all of these things and do not care. But you get what keywords were they ranking high for that they have dropped for. So for instance, top followed links to this site. Where do people come from a lot to visit this site? You would see all of that here. You still see pages on this site. You see that here. Linking domains and their domain authority. So they have over 600 domains within 1 to 10 domain authority linking back to them. They have about 250 or more with domain authority of 11 to 20. So it also means that if you want to compete in this field, you also have to find a way to build your credibility so that these guys would also find a way to link to you. So top anchor text, like what word do people put their URL more that brings traffic to them? So those are the things you get to see so in the analysis. So you can also find that's in the overview, right? In the overview, you can also review subdomains like specific, if let's say you want to analyze maybe a sub area, let's say insurance. This is business general, this is entrepreneurship. So let's say, for instance, you want to go to the website and see what contents have they written with relation to insurance. So you can go to the site, find out their insurance subdomain. You get, so this is blogging, this is business, this is marketing, this is social media, this is finance, start a business, this is e-commerce, this is insurance, okay? Just like I was predicting. So you can click on insurance, and so this is a category now, category insurance. So you copy this. You want to analyze and see what are they doing with respect to that. So you go to subdomain, and I'm going to change this now. So since I'm analyzing subdomain, I'm going to analyze this. I want to see what they are doing in that subdomain of insurance, what they are doing. So this is what the result looks like. This is what the result looks like. So I can also see the top pages in this subdomain. You get what are the top pages in this subdomain. You get, and as the case may be. So if also I want to write on insurance content, it gives me an idea of what contents to create my content around. Now there are also instances where you just trust the gut instinct, because for them to be writing on those contents and the content is driving them a lot of traffic, they put a lot of research to discover that those topics are good. So you might not have all the marketing and research budget to do all the rigorous searches they are doing. You might just say, okay, since they've written on how to implement an insurance licensing compliance management solution, you can decide to write your own and niche it down specifically to a particular country or a particular state in a country. That's also a way for you to get your own. So niching down is very good in blogging because nobody can answer all the question. Somebody can write how to build a house, and you decide to write how to build a small house, or you decide to write how to build a house that has a swimming pool. Now, all of them are how to build a house, but it's how well you were able to tweak your own that makes the difference. You get that is also how maybe if you're making recommendation for clients, they are saying their site is not ranking. You look at the contents they've written, the title are as similar to what maybe top businesses or top brands have already written on. You get, so you help them, give them recommendation on how to tweak those titles so that they can compete or they can have a chance of ranking for them. So you can check a lot of things when it comes to this. You can check top pages. I know I've changed this, so you can see some of the top pages, pages that brings them traffic. So you see this. So like I said, since this page is bringing them a lot of traffic, you don't have much to do. What you can just do is tweak the title and find your own title, that your own unique title, write on it. Because like I said, they have done a lot of research to decipher these topics. And since those topics are helping them bring links, so you also want to see how you can write on those topics, because it seems those are the topics that people who are interested in reading content in that industry want to know about. Now, you can also do domain overview. I'll bring this here. You can put, let me just put nairametrics. So let me not do domain overview because it's just going to be like a repetition. So what we're going to do is competitive research. So let's take this to competitive research, where you can analyze 2 or more domains, right? You can analyze 2 or more domains. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this. This is a domain. So I'm going to find the competitors for this particular domain and see. Okay, so, okay, it's still showing the sub. So it's still showing that sub category. So I'm going to remove this. So that it analyzes the main. So it's going to now show you the competitors. Should show by now. Okay, let me just take this. Let me take this out and use, let me just use Forbes.com for instance. So Forbes.com, right? You would see top competitors, top 25 competitors, Reddit, Bloomberg. So Reddit is not really a competitor to Forbes. I would take Bloomberg because they do kind of similar stuff. So Bloomberg, finance.yahoo.com. You get, these are really, so I'm going to pick finance.yahoo. I'm just going to check this. I'm going to check Wise. Wise is a money payment, is a payment gateway. So I won't take them. I think Bloomberg is closer to Forbes. I think the entrepreneurship.com, I don't know if that site will come up here. So Market Watch, yeah. So which other one? So I'm just going to use this. So I cannot do compared 3 competitors in keyword gap. So I want to find out the keyword gap. Remember yesterday we talked about keyword gap. What contents do Forbes.com have that these other ones do not have? You get stuff like that. So top positions. So Forbes is actually beating the 3 of them in terms of top keywords. Forbes has 307.3K keywords, around number 1 to 3 in keyword search. And then in terms of ranking keywords, Forbes has 3.8 million. Finance.yahoo.com has just 1.1 million. Bloomberg has less than 1 million. MarketWatch has less. So you can still see that also Forbes is beating them. So keywords to improve on, this is where the recommendations now begin to come in. So, and per each one that is recommended, you can add them to your keyword list. You can just tick them, add them, and then you can get a ton of content topics. You get top competing content. You can get a lot of this. So for instance, if you're also an entrepreneurship site, you can pick the brains of these companies with large marketing budget that do a lot of research to find out content areas that customers are interested in, and then use that to guide your research process and content writing process. The last thing I'm going to talk about how to come up with keyword content is, what are we going to do with this? We can explore keywords. Where's keyword search? So let's really go to keyword search. So I'm going to the last one we're going to talk about is keyword search. So you can, just the same way I talked about on Answer the Public, where you can put a keyword. So we can put a keyword, let's say meaning of, let's just use Deborah because the name is popular. So, or let's just use Deborah. So what can we write around the name Deborah? So we can just analyze, and we're using United States for this, and you will see a lot of things. So the system will just do its analysis. That's why it's a paid tool you get to show you how many times do people search for the name Deborah in the UK. So it's giving you an estimate of 2.2K. So within the range of 1.7K to 2.9K, people make searches around Deborah as a word. You get, it might be either the meaning of the name Deborah or Deborah something. So organic click-through rate, 83%. So it has, if you have content, your content ranking for the word Deborah, your click-through rate could be this high. Difficulty, 56%. Now, this is where you now look at the site you're writing for. So the minimum domain authority to rank for this particular word is 21. So it means that if your website does not have up to 21 DA, don't even bother yourself, because you might not see the light of the day. Now, the next question you want to ask me is, how can you know the DA of a site? Either you take that site and go to tools like Moz, Answer the Public to find out, or you have Moz extension. So if you watch where my cursor is, this is my Moz extension and it is active. So as you can see, that is why any site I enter, I will be able to see the domain rating of that site. You get, I'll be able to see. So for instance, I'm on Google, you can see the domain rating is showing me here that it's 100. So I can come to this entrepreneurship blog, it's telling me that the domain rating is 22. So for instance, I can go to FastTire's site, then it's also going to show you the domain rating of FastTire's site. So it's also showing you that it's 22. So I'm pretty much, so you can see that here is more okay. Yeah, showing you here DA, page authority is 43. So aside having a DA, this particular page, this home page, the page authority is 43. So from this, showing you that if you must rank for this particular word, just be sure that your domain, the difficulty level is 56%. So is your chances of ranking is less than 50%, is less than 0.5. So you want to be sure before putting your head or spending your time to write that content. So at least also your content should be more than or a minimum of 21 DA. So that said, here are keyword suggestions. Like I told you, they would give you keyword suggestion. Deborah Bible, Deborah in the Bible, story of Deborah in the Bible. So people are asking about the story of Deborah in the Bible. So you could write a content that summarizes the story of Deborah in the Bible. Deborah the judge. You can, when you expand these to, I'm going to open this in another tab. You see lots more suggestions that you can write on. So these are ways you get keyword suggestions. So, but you also want to always check that the keywords you're writing, you can rank for them. because there's no need writing those contents and at the end of the day, you cannot rank for them. Because if you can't rank for them, either you will not be happy if it's your own content, or if it's a client's content, the client will not be happy and they will not appreciate your work. Other ways is to check for questions. What is the full meaning of Deborah? You can see, so it will give you options. You can view more questions, and this process alone, you will see lots of topic. So if, let's say, it's not Deborah, let's say it was baking. Let's say you're writing for a baking company. So you want to create content for them that will help drive traffic. And at the same time, that traffic, you can now convert those traffic to leads that will buy something from them. So here are similar ways, either from question or top suggestions, and you can explore a lot of topics you get. So this is very high. You can see it's showing high. So it also means that the website of the person and the minimum domain is 53. So you also want to now, this is not the word you'll be writing for, but this is just the seed keyword we use to open the search. So the keyword difficulty for something like are cooking and baking different might be lower. You get, so you now go for the ones that are within your capacity to, what's the word now, target or compete for. So there are also keyword suggestions, which is here. You can find a lot more to do. So these two, if you understand all I've said with this one, is pretty much the same way other tools like Ahref, SEMrush, is it SEO, Frog, and many more, many more. Even Uber suggests is the same approach. Once you just understand these basics I have explained, it pretty much covers the rest. Now, before I go into the next, do we understand what I've been saying, or do we have questions? Are we still with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We are.
sir.
Should I move on, or do I give you guys time to breathe in?
Yes, sir, you can move on, sir.
Okay. All right. So that said, I would also drop the support video, which will furthermore help you guys to explore other tools that I covered. So in this one, I talked only about Moz, but there is another training I had done where I showed how to use 3 to 4 other tools. So you can also learn and apply the knowledge. That said, let's look at something else. Is it here or here? All right. These guys are not giving me. Where's my supposed to have? Yeah. So blog content review checklist. So if this, in this part, we're going to talk about if you have a site, or if there is a site you're managing and some of the contents are old. You get, they were written years ago. They were written years ago and they need review so that it can be checked on and improved, and or they were ranking before, they are no longer ranking again. You can use this checklist and check the content for the people and give them recommendations. They will see changes and it will be like magic, and they will not know what happened. You can charge them. It took my team and I a lot to come up with this checklist, and I am giving it to you for free. Don't joke with it. Don't joke with it. So this checklist, we put it together after the, what's it called? The new Google core updates that rocked a lot of sites. You get it, rocked a lot of sites, and a lot of people were crying. Even our own sites, we cried because we lost a lot of traffic. And so we had to go back to the drawing table as wise people that we were, what is wrong, and then found where the guidelines, they are not written, but we on our own true study and understanding what is happening came up with this checklist, which we use to help revive our sites back, to get back some of our traffic. So if you have people who were hit by Google core updates, you've either heard them talk about, oh, core updates hit my site, we've lost traffic, or stuff like that. Or you have people who, they were not hit by core updates, but they have sites and they've been writing, but nothing has been happening. No traffic is coming. Maybe they've been writing for over a year on the site and the site has content. Use this checklist, use it to analyze their content, and then give them recommendations. If they apply it in 3 months, they do the right things, changes will come. So let's proceed. Number one, the first question every content should ask is my content talking or showing? There's one thing to just say a lot of things in your content, but are you expressive enough in the content? Does the content hold what it takes to keep people engaged? Because remember that I mentioned the algorithms, the way they operate, they want to offer value first. It's not when they bring people to your site, when they recommend your site or your content, people come and they just read, and in less than a minute, they're out. They are now looking for another page to read. So they want to be sure that as they are recommending your page, people are getting maximum value. What did I say? What did I say the algorithms are expecting people to get from your site?
Maximum value.
Please, everybody echo it. What did I say? What are the algorithms expecting people to get from your site? Everybody, unmute yourself. You have to, because this one is very important. Everybody enters everybody's head. What are the algorithms expecting anybody that comes to your site to get?
Maximum value.
It's only one person that is talking. Where's every other person?
Maximum value.
Okay.
Maximum value.
Maximum value.
All right, great. So the search engines, when they recommend, when somebody goes on Google or Binge, does a site, or Yahoo does a search, and they recommend your site, the algorithms are expecting that as the person is coming, or majority of the people that come, because of course we know that there are some people that they used to do somehow, they will just come boom and off. So they want people to get maximum value. So it means that your content should not only be explaining, your content should be showing. How can your content show? Number one, is there a need for infographic in your content? Add an infographic. Is there a need for a picture? Add a picture. Does your content need video to explain, even if it's a little concept? Add the video, my dear. Does it need audio? Add the audio. So gone are the days where web content creation is just about writing on black and white. My dear, you have to show, does it need things like screenshots to show proof or guidance? Does it need drawing? Even if it means using your hand, freehand sketch, draw, snap the picture, include, please draw it. If you can use systems, maybe CorelDRAW or anything to develop the drawing, please do it. If you even need a graphic designer to develop that thing and it's going to improve the quality of your content, please do it. We have a content, let me show you people one instance that portrays this. We have a content that I'm trying to escape this so that I can show you people something. So we had a content that at some point was dropped in ranking. It dropped in ranking. So we were not asking ourselves, I think PTDF scholarship personal statement. So we were ranking #1 for the content. We now dropped in ranking to #3 sometime in this year. So what did we do? If you watch here, reviewed 8th June. So what I'm trying to show you is not something of old. So I like the fact that you guys should understand that anything that I'm showing you, we've done it. And when I'm saying this is checklist for 2024, I'm not just bluffing. You can see we use it. So this particular content, we lost our position. These guys were ranking higher than us, and you can see theirs was way back. And ours too, we wrote it years ago. As we are even at ranking PTDF sites, these guys were ranking higher than us. I think we were at #4 by the beginning of this year. But what did we do? We had to go back. See, these guys, they wrote their own content 15 February. So he made the algorithms to rate their own content better than ours because theirs had freshness. So during our time of review, you get going back to the drawing board, finding out what exactly is, what are we doing, what do we need to improve on. We came up, after coming up with a solution, we went back to this particular content to review it. And guys, the content was written by yours truly, as you can see here. So it was written by yours truly. So we went back to review it. Before, there were things we did not have on this content. We now started showing, not only telling. So we're talking about personal statement sample, right? We added a screenshot of what it looks like. So if you do not want to read immediately, you want to download this one and go home with, please feel free, download. As you click and download it, the algorithms will rate this site. Oh, somebody did something here. It seems they found interest here. And as the person is going with this thing, you have some stops from us in case you get, we watermarked it, for instance. So in this place again, our interest to help you understand, we put relevant links to other related contents too that can also help them understand more about PTDF and the conversation as the case may be. So when you come, you read and you want to learn more about how to win, you open this page, the algorithms will say, oh, okay, they open the page. How the PTDF scholarship works, you opened, because whoever wants to write personal statement, you want to know all this information. And we're providing it for you all on this page. Would the algorithms rate our contents to be quality or not? Please, I need your responses. What do you think? Would they rate our contents high or not?
It will. It will rate the content high
Great.
because of the way of activities.
Exactly. So all of these things initially, we broke it down. We worked. You get, we also added other links. Do you need to review your resume or statement? Contact us. We added helpful videos. Do you get? Added helpful. So we're not just telling you, we're showing you. You get, we're showing you how it's done, either in visuals, you get, we show you stage by stage, step by step, how it's done. We add resources. Do you need extra assistance? This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Other questions you get, how to structure the different paragraphs. We broke our own down, added, as we're explaining it, we're also adding infographics. As you can see what we're talking about, infographics. To further explain it, we add more key points. And before you knew it, we regained our position. And so far, this particular content has gotten 4.5K reads. So I brought that to show you this. Is my content talking or showing? Is this content at the end of the day talking or showing? What do you guys think? Is it talking or showing?
It's showing.
All right. So that is how you great. That is how you have to look at your content creation process or that of your clients. So remember, like I told you, that sometimes it's not, you might not only be the right person. You get, when you understand this checklist, it took my team a lot to come up with this checklist. I'm giving it for you for free. I don't know why. I'm feeling benevolent. So perhaps tomorrow I'll go add philanthropist on my profile on LinkedIn. That's just a joke anyway. So you can see trade secrets. When I told you guys last time that some things I'm showing you are trade secrets, some of you thought it was a joke, but I know what I'm saying. We use this just this year after our site got struck, and this helped this our particular content come back. So now in Nigeria, if you're searching for anything related to PTDF scholarship, I think you will not make up to 3 searches. You must see one content on one of the result pages about from our content. So far is related to PTDF scholarship personal statement. Before you make up to 3 searches on Google, you'll find our content, right? And here again, is this thing you're seeing here is our content. So don't be this video here you're seeing here is our content. Is our content. It's on our Instagram page. Should I show you guys? Do you guys want to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's see.
So, so and the funny thing is, you might not even know a couple of other pictures you might see here. They will take you back to our site, but I might not be able to locate those ones now. Okay, so I was telling you guys this is our video. So let's open the video and let's see. Okay, it's asking me to sign in. I'm not signing in. So, but close. Ula, where are you? Faster ing. So as you can see, so that is how it works, right? And if we take it to videos, let's see if our videos are up there. Here again, our videos. So remember when I said, anyhow you do any search about personal statements, PTDF personal statement, you can't make up to 3 searches that you would not see. I'm not saying you must open a, but somehow you will see one of our content. So whether it's from the video end, is from the picture end, is from the content end, we got you covered. We cover the ground. So in the area of topical authority, that's also another thing now. When it comes to PTDF scholarship personal statement as a topic, our site has also developed topical authority in this word. So that's also how you build topical authority. So you could analyze the person's sites, look at what they are doing. From just this small thing I've explained to you, all of you should be able to analyze different websites and the different content. So let's take, for instance, this other site. Let's see what they are doing and then compare it to ours. So this is what this site looks like. This is the same thing. So you can easily understand now why, right? Why our content is, so this is the one for us. You get, even if you were the algorithm, you see this well-prepared fried rice with different obstruction. You put spoon here, you touch shaki, you put spoon here, one fresh fish follow you, you put here, there is sliced egg or carrots or something, you understand? You would rate this content higher. Is that not correct? So this is also how it works for content, right? Trade secrets I'm giving to you guys for free. Don't say I did not do anything for you people. You get trade secrets, trade. So these guys also came, they also have quality content. You have to give it to them too. You get, they have quality content, but from what I have explained, you can still have an idea of, to see why perhaps our content is also maybe above theirs, even though theirs is number 3, right? So you can see the difference. So your content have to show. I think I have explained that. So another way is proofread the content for grammar or typos, correct or grammatical errors, please, because if you're making blunders here and there, it means that you do not represent your brand properly. So I'm going to rush over this. Check for rich pictures or videos. I think I've basically, with that explanation I gave you, I've basically shown you guys. So this checklist would be here in this video. You can always go back, use it. Like you can just use this thing and you'll be making money from people. Like you can analyze people's websites. You have somebody that let me just analyze your website. Let's see how the traffic doing. Oh, shake this thing up, do this, add this, add this. Just give them that. Just give them for maybe only 5 content. Let them try it. In 3 months' time, they see that the traffic for those content is doing better. They'll come back for you, and then you can now charge them, and that's how you can pay. So all of this you can always. Does the content have or need more pages to be cited? I think I've explained all of these. That's where we talked about we adding links, relevant links that you get, relevant links that would bring. So you also, if you also have people that can help cite your own page, you can also share with them. So that also applies for this, right? Are there broken links? If there are links that are now showing 404 errors, you can remove them, clear up that space. Does the content need to be revamped totally? So sometimes you can look at the content. For this, it did not need to be revamped totally, but we really had to do a lot. I think before, this content was just maybe 500 words or less than 1,000. So, but by the time we were done with adding the new set of information to meet the current standard, you get it went up. So are the names on the list outdated? You get, so if it's a content that has listicle, the names that were used, are they outdated? Do they need new names? So I'm rushing over this so that you can have time to, you would also always have time. And then here are the stuffs. Are there relevant and related key phrases on the title lane? So yes, in 2023 can be revised to how to source for talent in 2020. For or you get, so just date here was also showing. So thank you for listening. I have been able to deliver to this class. One would not even remember that I wasn't feeling too well just yesterday. Thank you so much. Questions, and I will provide answers. Do we have questions? No questions? In the absence of questions, we can call it a night so that everybody could have time to reflect on what has been taught. Okay, we have one
Please, I have
question.
a question. I have a question, please.
Please, if you have question, you know so whenever I'm calling for question, I think we already know the routine. Just raise your hand, and once it's time, we start taking the questions. So who else has question? Raise your hand. There's nobody new to the system now. Once it's time for question, so who else? Please check yourself. Do you have questions? Do you think you have questions? Check yourself. Remember that once we start taking the questions, we will just take only the people who raise their hand, and That'll be it. Okay, so we have just 2 questions. All right, Deborah, let's have a question.
Okay, thank you, sir. My question. So I remember, I think that was the second class, I think, when we were given an assignment to do, and we had to go browse on some, so I had to do some search. So I was using an Uber Suggest to make my search, but I noticed that they were not giving me list of topics. I don't know. I was supposed to see like a circle of list of topics, but I was not getting that. Even I've not used my search I've not used more than 3 search for that day, but I could not get that Uber those list of topics. I don't know if it was because I was using the free tool. I really don't know. I think that's what I just wanted to clarify.
Okay, so, well, it might, one, be what exactly, which part of the Uber Suggest you're using, or it can also be a matter of because you're using the free version. So let me try and do this quickly. So Uber Suggest can be funny sometimes. I think I opened it. All right, so I'm just going to close this. So walk me through. You put, let's just say, personal statement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Something like this?
Yeah.
All right, so
Yes.
let's just do this. So let's just do this. So this is Uber Suggest, and this is also the free version. So you've been signed out. Why? I just signed in. Yeah, okay. Just I just want to use the free stuff, right? And just be done. I don't want to log in. Okay. So personal statement, right? You said you were looking for keyword suggestions.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is what you'd have clicked on, keyword ideas.
Okay.
So if you click on keyword ideas related to personal statement, remember what I put was personal statements. And
Yeah.
it will start giving you, to show you all of this. So you can either toggle to related questions, prepositions, comparisons, and you see a lot of options, a lot. And then you can start saving them out or copying the ones you can save out in a template. And then, let's say, for instance, this related. So let's see topics related to that. So I can do this, then add them to my list, copy them. So you have a lot of suggestions. If you go through the question route also, you see a lot of questions people are asking related to personal statements. I think they will tell me now that I've used my tree. Okay. How to format personal statement. You can see all of those questions, right? So you can, this alone, so you can see all of this. Those are topics alone that you can work on. So even without the paid tool, you can also see volume. You can see the difficulty, says difficulty 6 for this. So how to format personal statement. So for instance, for you that works in a company that writes personal statements, you can go and tell them, do we have a content on how to format personal statements? We can write on it and rank. It has a good search volume and low search difficulty. So I'm showing you now how we also work. So you can also work with the content team. So even if you're not directly in the content team in your organization, you have an idea, and this knowledge and this wisdom is always not lost. Comes in somewhere. How to write personal statement for scholarship. This search difficulty is 7. This search difficulty is 7. The volume is 390. So how can this be 390 people if you can get 10% is 39? So, and you know all this kind of topic too are economic in value. Imagine if out of that 39 there are 2 or 3 that convert to sales. You get, how does that help your organization at the end of the day? This is how content marketing helps people grow. So, and help businesses grow. So this is what you would have done. I think that was what you missed. Deborah, we're good.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
All right. Bethel, please, your question.
Okay, so thank you so much for the training. So my question is based on some of these tools you use, like the Moz, the Uber Suggest. So my question was actually almost the same thing as what she just asked, but I think I will have to go with what is the best tool? Which of these is, because that one you use, I think is a paid version, because that assignment they gave to us when I was doing my own, I used SEMrush, and the features of SEMrush seems to be quite different from what I see on your own on this Moz. This Moz seems to be more self-explanatory, straight to the point. What you're looking for, you're just seeing it there and all of that. So this Moz, doesn't it have like a free version? And if it doesn't, which tool can we get like that have a free version that can work well? Like, what is the best tool we can use for this SEO analysis?
All right. Can I answer?
Yes, please.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the question. And well, like I said in my explanation, almost all of them actually are the same. They work the same way. It's just they use different terminologies or just a bit different interface. That Uber Suggest interface we just saw now is nothing different from Moz. If you always check at the left-hand side, you will see the options for the different. So you see here, see this part. Hope everybody's seeing it. You will see all of these things. So domain overview, where's Uber Suggest? So let me bring Uber Suggest close so that I show you. It's the same thing with SEMrush and Ahrefs and all of them. Same thing. See it? So, but they just use different terms. Keyword research, they use same thing. But keyword overview, here they will say explore by keyword. They have their own domain overview where you can check domain, like website. Domain means website. Do you get? Keyword ideas, they can help you generate keyword ideas. These people do not have keyword ideas, they have explore by keyword and keyword lists and keyword suggestions. But when you go to Uber Suggest, they will say keyword ideas. If you just understand how they all operate, it's easy to grab. Come on. I'm trying to talk with this. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So dashboard is like the main page of this. Rank tracking is you checking different sites and their track. SEO opportunities is similar. You want to see content gaps. You want to see, that's just site audit. You can check your site's health. You check whether you're having broken links or maybe your competitors' site also. Are there contents that are linking to your site, that are linking to you that are not healthy for your site, so that you can disavow them? So it's pretty much even SEMrush. It's just that some others have more data. You get like SEMrush and Ahrefs might have more data than Moz and more functions like options to click on this. Like Moz does not have, I think they've incorporated it now, but before even Moz, Uber Suggest had an AI writing assistant where their inbuilt AI can help you write a content. They've had it long before now, you get. So that is just it. So by the left-hand side, you always see all of this. You just use your sense to understand that they will just tweak, and that is just what it is, so that it doesn't look like they are copying one another. So they just tweak their own language. This one will say keyword results. This one will say keyword reports. You get, but they are trying to, you get the point. So this Moz I'm using is also the free version. So currently this is the free version. And the extension, the Chrome extension is also the free version. So you can just open a Moz account. It should be www.moz.com. Open a free account. If you're having challenges opening it, try and open it in incognito mode, and then create your account, add the extension to your Chrome, and you can use it, and you begin to start analyzing sites, even consciously or unconsciously, when you do general search using your PC. But it only works on PC for the Moz extension, which would appear here, somewhere here in your system. So you can use Moz. Moz will give you free 10 searches per month. Uber suggests to give you 3 free searches per day. SEMrush, if we're talking about the best in the industry in terms of quality of recommendations you get and how trustworthy, the best people say is Ahref, then SEMrush, and then the rest. So that's why Ahref tool is also very expensive. If you get access to an Ahref to know that the business that gave you the access, they are paying a whole lot of money to get that running. I think the last time I paid for Ahref plan, it was 150 USD. Was it 150 now or 100? I don't know if I think they've increased it, but I know it was either around 100 or 150. The plan I got was either 100 or 150. And they even cut me off after a period of time. I think that was what annoyed me with them, because it was supposed to last for a month, but according to they now sent me a message that I have exhausted my searches for the month. Because of course, Niger business, I paid for it. I came out for them. I wanted to get the best value for that money, because 100, I be 150 USD was not small money for in Niger business to churn out. So I was doing a lot of heavy. I did a lot. And like I said, it was that period that we too were looking for solution to our dropped ranking. So I utilized it, and after a period of time, I think it was not even up to 3 weeks, they told me I've exhausted my volume of searches for that particular plan, that if I wanted an extension, I should pay extra, is it 20 USD or thereabout. So I wrote their team, I wrote to them angrily that that's not what their plan says. Their plan says 1 month plan. They did not state all these limits to searches, that it doesn't matter if I had bought the plan and kept it without using it, or used it only twice, would they have come to tell me that, oh, since I've not used up to my required searches, they will roll it over. So long story short, that conversation did not go well, and it made me angry. I disconnected. So in terms of quality of results, you get Ahref, SEMrush, then the rest comes in. So that's how, answering your question of which ones are the best, that's how. So, but in versatility, like when you talk of affordability and ease of use, Uber Suggest comes closest to what you'd find. You get Uber Suggest and Moz in terms of versatility. So Answer the Public is also owned by Uber Suggest. So I would not advise you to pay for Answer the Public paid plan. Instead of paying for Answer the Public paid plan, go and pay for Uber Suggest paid plan, because Uber Suggest is the parent company. NeilPatel.com, Neil Patel Digitals, they are the owners of Uber Suggest and Answer the Public. And the Answer the Public is more like feeding Uber Suggest. So that is my answer to that your question.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so please, when it comes to keyword research, so what role does Google console play in this? Because sometimes some of the keywords, for you to find out the keywords ranking on your site, or even to get the analytics, the Google console could come in handy, but then you must have run ad on the Google stuff, and it's sometimes can be very frustrating that you must have to have run an ad on it before you can be able to get your analytics, or even to get the keyword research you want.
Okay, so Google Console, what role does it play? It plays a lot, a whole lot, a whole lot. Like, you can't really do anything without Google Console as a website owner. You get. So, but it's not Google Console that requires you to run ad before you can use it. It's actually Google Keyword Planner. You get. It's Google Keyword Planner.
Yeah,
So
true.
there's a way to move around it. You could just search on Google how to bypass Google Keyword Planner without running ads. See what the new hacks, not really hack per se, but there's a way it's just like this Uber Suggest. When I tried using it, they wanted me to log in, and I didn't really want to log in. I just wanted to do the free set. So I just waited for a while, and that X sign came up, and I closed it. So, but if I was impatient, or if I didn't know that after a while that thing will come up, I will just go ahead to log in. So it's just similar to the way. So usually Google also creates a way that you can bypass that and just use the keyword planner for free. But for Google Console, it's important that every website is plugged, like, because Google is the most widely used search engine, and especially for even us now in this part of the world. If maybe we were somewhere in China where they do not use Google that much, you get, and Google has been trying to penetrate that market, we will not say, okay, you should be concerned more about Bing than Google. But since you're in this side and you're a website owner, or you work for a website owner, that site has to be registered to a console, because that console gives you the knowledge of what particular search, what particular queries are bringing people to your site. So Google Console is like Google's own database of how your site is performing on their search engine. So it's important. It plays a key role. For our own sites, it's also plugged, and every other site we have is also plugged to a console. You get registered to a console. So from time to time, you see the console also tells you where Google algorithm has classified your sites. So it's not like it will tell you, oh, we've classified you under this niche. No. Once you see the kind of content that the Google algorithm is using to drive traffic to your site, you just know that it has classified your site. Let's say you open your site and you find out that the top 10 most visited pages are pages on risk management. Don't bother yourself writing on any other topic. Okay, let me not say don't bother writing on any other topic, but it's just a clear indication to tell you that they have trusted your site, or they have grouped your site for this keyword. So the best thing for you to do to harness your energy and resources, create more content related to that part the algorithm has ranked you for. Feed the algorithm what the algorithm wants. and the algorithm will feed your content to the people that want it. But if the algorithm is telling you, I have put you under swimming category, you're fighting that, no, algorithm, I don't want swimming category, I want farming category. It will be a tough one. It will take the algorithm a long time to turn its face again and start thinking of how to recategorize you. So, but the easy way is, if you have created multiple contents, and the algorithm has picked where to categorize you, just focus on it. A similar way to people who create content on social media, content creators. Remember that when most times they start out, they create content in different, before usually they blow, you see that they are creating content in different things, different niche. But once that content category that makes them blow, you now find out that they'll be creating content so related to that area. You just find out that they'll just be, you understand, you remember that time that this guy's song Gwe, I don't know if Go Go Gongo rather now, that song blew. Remember that for like a month or 2 months, he kept on like remixing that or creating more dance videos related to that. Why? Because the social algorithms and the social signals there were favoring that content. So he had to feed the algorithm what the algorithm needed. The algorithm fed his content to the people who needed it. And for that period of time, he packed the money he packed, got the deals he got, and that faded away too. The another content of his probably will be trending, but it might not be as that other one. So it's the same way with this content. It's also the same way LinkedIn algorithm works. Once LinkedIn algorithm identifies your content or your profile for a particular kind of content, once you start seeing the kind of content that are bringing people to your page, I'm not saying don't do any other thing and kill yourself in that, no, but it kind of helps you shape your interaction and your approach around it. You can use that and build enough social capital that when the expiration point or time for that your trend or virality, you might have created some social capital that when you start talking about other things, it would have helped you, or it will help you still continue that growth trajectory. So once the algorithms identify you, don't argue with the algorithms, just flow with them. It's just the same way we talk about swimming. You don't swim against the current. You're going to waste your energy. Just align yourself with the current, and the current will make swimming easy for you. So that's also the importance of console. You want to be seeing what the console is saying. What are the results showing from the console? If console is saying your contents are rising in this particular area, then create more content in this particular area. You get, if the console later changes this phase too, just follow it like that, and you would be performing well. This is also another way to review websites content. Sometimes the business owners don't check their console. You can go to their console, see how the contents are performing, and help advise them better.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Are we there, ladies and gentlemen? Musa, you've been quiet this period. What is happening? Are you okay? Is Musa in this class? Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Please do well to sign in. Let's sign in quickly. Let's sign in. Let's sign in. Let's sign in. Please sign in today's class, today's dates. Let's sign in to this class.